So why do projects fail? Today I'm going to discuss some of the main reasons that a project might fail to meet its desired objectives or might fail completely. And there are, the list is endless of why this might happen. But it is something that does happen quite common. And I'm going to discuss some of those big common reasons that it really happens. So some of the things that can happen, some of the reasons that a project can fail are, first of all, biggest thing is just a bad project, a bad analysis, bad contract. What that means is that either you or your client did not put together what could be done in, you have bad time, bad cost, bad scope. You just didn't align things right. Bad front-end analysis. Project is never going to meet its end goal from the start. It's already doomed for failure. So that's, the first thing. That statement of work is bad. That front-end analysis was done improperly. And why does that kind of stuff happen? A lot of times that happens because A, you let your client dictate something and you didn't really go in and check it for yourself because the client could be incorrect, or B, you're incorrect. Why would you be incorrect? Because you didn't do a proper analysis. And this stuff happens very, just these things right here, this bad analysis happens so often. Why? A lot of people aren't trained to do it. Sometimes people get promoted to project manager, but have never been trained how to be a project manager. People get asked to do a front-end analysis to determine a problem, and they've never been trained on how to do that. So, the thing is, you don't know what you don't know. So if you don't know how to do it, you're kind of making up how to do it. It's like me asking someone to build a car that's never learned how to build a car. Maybe they know that cars have tires, but do they know what goes in all the internal parts of the tire? Do they know what kind of nuts they're supposed to use and how tight they're actually supposed to screw it on? And they won't know that stuff. They just know there's a tire there. Same thing happens in project management. So usually when a project is doomed to fail, happens right from the beginning because of a bad PM, bad analysis, bad statement of work, bad client expectations. And the things that fail are those desired objectives. Now, other reasons projects fail, and probably the other biggest reason, is scope creep. And that's when, your client wants you to, or during the project you realize, which also usually is from bad analysis on someone's end, is that something comes up and we have to modify the project plan. We have to modify it because we now have additional work. The client wants us to do project 2 or add on to, or something has come up which has added on to the project. So that's one of the biggest reasons that projects also fail to meet their desired objectives, is that the objectives were wrong, so now the objectives are changing in the project. So really what it does is it comes down to, if you have a good project manager who does a good front-end analysis, really good gap-end analysis, to come up with a really good solid statement of work, your project plan is probably not going to fail. It's going to do well. But there are so many moving pieces to a project that it's really difficult. And unfortunately, those moving pieces are not machines. I could use the example of a car again. I mean, think about all the moving pieces of a car. They all have to go together for your car to run. Unfortunately, for a project, you're looking at you might be looking at multiple people from multiple different places, and that project might be priority 1 for you, but might be priority number 7 for one of the people that you need as part of the project. And so they're held up by whatever. I've had employees go on vacation. Employees are doing all kinds of different things. So there are so many reasons that this causes a project to fail. Now, you might see statistics out there like 70% of projects fail, or 70% of projects fail to meet their desired objectives. That's a really hard number to actually quantify, because I could look at one company that has a really high success rate and another company that has a really low success rate and pinpoint what are the causes of that. It's also very difficult, when, to try to consider those kind of numbers and, put them into each situation, because each situation is so unique. So I wouldn't get too frustrated with those kinds of numbers. I would just make sure that you're really doing all of your upfront work to make sure that everything is as strong as it can be during project initiation and planning, so that the project is executed as flawlessly as possible. Thank you.